Welcome to another video in the JavaScript tutorial series, and in this video we'll be looking at the second most commonly used data structures in JavaScript, that is objects. Alright, so JavaScript objects are basically just key value pairs. Alright, so what I mean by key value pairs is that you have a key value like name that is linked to a value, say John. Alright, so we have this particular key value pair. Now the name is the key which identifies this particular value, and yeah, that's basically what JavaScript object is. It is a collection of key value pairs, and let's just define a JavaScript object. Let object one equals let's take an ID of 1, comma, name of John. Right, so we have two key value pairs here, and these key value pairs are named as ID and name, both of which are keys, and 1 and John are values for this particular keys. So as you can see, each of these properties are separated with a comma, and thus here is a JavaScript object. Now how do you access this object? How you can print and manipulate this object? Let's just console.log object1 dot name. Alright, so let's just print this and see what we get. We get John. Alright, so in order to reference a particular key, we'll have to use the dot. Object1.name gives John, and if you just change this to ID, then you'll be getting the corresponding ID, which gives 1. So that's basically what JavaScript objects are. They are pretty useful, and as you can see, when you just dive more deep into web related technologies, you will see the more frequently used JSON format, what is called the JavaScript object notation format, which is entirely based on the principle of key value pairs. And there's very slight change compared to a JavaScript object, but JSON is basically a modified version of a JavaScript object. So if ever you fall into a lot of web related stuff, then you'll be seeing JSON a lot frequently. So something to think about, something to know. And JavaScript objects are pretty commonly used in JavaScript, as I said, and that's all you need to know from here. It's very simple, nothing much complex. Now if you wish to make an array of objects, suppose I wish to have multiple IDs and names, so let's just create a array. Like we have learned arrays, let's just combine both of these and see what we get. Alright, so yeah, let's just create an array here, and let's see. As you know, arrays are separated with commas. Even this array will be separated with a comma. And let me just copy this and have it like this. Let's just rename this as 2, and let's give this a name as Jenny, and the third one, we give it an ID of 3, and we'll give it as James. Alright, so we have 3 objects here within an array. Now you might be wondering how you would actually go about referencing this particular data structure. So pretty simple. How do you do an array? You will have something like, we'll be first having object1 of 0. We just have object1 of 0 references the first element, that is this particular object. So if we just print this out, let's see what we get. So we get an object that's returned to us, which has an ID of 1 and the name of John. That's the first element. As you can see, this is an individual object that is a part of the array, this one as well, and the same goes with this. So there are totally 3 elements in this particular array, and we're just referencing the first element. Now you wish to get the particular name of that person, but you have this in an array. So how you'll do that? So let's just give a dot and a name, as simple as that. You're actually in the first in this statement we just referencing the array index and returning the corresponding object to it, and in the second part dot name we are referencing to the object, the particular object key. So let's just run this and see what we get. Yeah, John. If I just do do the same with 2 here, we'll be getting James. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty simple, not really complex. If you wish to have an array of objects, that's very much possible, and this is how you do it. So that's it. Pretty this is a pretty short video compared to the last one, introducing you to JavaScript objects. So that's it for this video. Thank you.